we talked about fruits and vegetables half of your plate. So how did you do with your goals? Who wants to share how you did with your goals last week? Did anyone work on their goals?
I did.
Okay, would you like to share what you did? What was your goal? Do you remember?
To eat more vegetables, and
Okay, and how did you do with that?
I did it. I'm trying to lose weight, so it's always me.
Okay, no, that's good because you said you didn't like vegetables last week, right?
No, I like vegetables.
Well, who said they didn't? Somebody said they didn't like, or was it fruit?
Fruit.
No, nobody said that. Okay,
Me,
That's fine.
I don't like vegetable.
I knew I heard
I
something.
get this one.
I don't like vegetable. I like fruit. I like meat too.
Okay,
Maybe I say that.
okay. And when you said you worked on your vegetables, so remember we talked about having a variety. So did you kind of use like that activity that we had when you were choosing your vegetables? Did you have different colors? Did you try to focus on that?
Usually our salad has different colors.
Okay,
The salad that we make
okay,
is
nice.
cucumber and lettuce and tomato and carrot and.
Okay, nice. Thank you for sharing.
Moo want to share something too.
Okay.
แต่เดี๋ยวแนะนำนะ
ไม่เป็นไรหรอกเพราะ
Yeah, salata, vai trabalhar na salata, So she said I try to make the soup and then with the maybe meat and then I put a variety of different color veggies. It's going to the soup, so I eat it all like that so that I can get all the veggies.
Okay, nice. So she said, Moo said that she made her soup and she focused on getting a variety of different vegetables when she made her soup. So good job. Good. All right, Simon?
She said they have salad, tomato, onion, and a little bit of oil and lemon juice and add with injera.
Okay.
Okay.
So it looks like everybody focused on having a variety. That's good. Anybody else want to share anything? Are you okay, Yvonne?
For me, my son doesn't eat meat, doesn't like them, so I put a small piece of meat with a lot of vegetable like onion, potato, broccoli, boil them and put them in the mixer,
Yeah.
and I make like soup for him, so he eat it.
Nice. That's a good way to.
Trick him.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for sharing it. He didn't know the difference, huh?
Yeah. Doesn't feel it.
All right. So we also talked about being physically active. So I'm going to have you turn to the person next to you and just talk about like if you did anything else, changes. You don't have to, but it's up to you. As far as like the fruits and vegetables and were you physically active at all last week? So next what we're going to do, so today we're going to talk about make half your grains whole, okay? So we're going to talk about the difference between whole grains and refined grains, okay? So what I have here are some different types of grains that you may have had before or have eaten, or you still eat it. I don't know. But what we're going to do is pass these around, but don't open them, okay? I'm going to pass them around, but make sure you keep the lids on them. So the first one that I have is bulgur. All right? You guys heard of that?
What is it? Is that rice? What is it?
That's a one of the whole grains.
Okay, it's called bulgur.
And then we have whole wheat. Okay?
Yeah, I know. Kaya kaya dalam buncit program.
And then we have popcorn.
That kind of popcorn bucket that popcorn bucket that be
And then we have whole grain barley. Popcorn. Yeah, that's how you make your popcorn. And then we have brown rice.
شرح مسمى
You can just leave them there. We'll get them. Yep, we'll get them.
Thank you.
And then oatmeal.
Oatmeal, but when the Latin tea and yeah, what a cereal oatmeal. That can't get a feel of what they'll be.
So far, the ones that have been passed around, is there any ones that you've eaten before or that you still eat?
Oatmeal,
Popcorn, oatmeal,
and then sometimes brown rice.
brown rice sometimes. Okay. Whole grain, okay. What you make with that?
We make like
I can't
I'm
say
reading
that.
your faces.
Yeah, just like we put in, we cook like rice. Yeah.
We like soup. We ate with.
Oh, okay. With the is that that's the barley, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially like a pudding, right? You make it something like a rice pudding. So
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to guess. So I don't
Well,
know.
you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job.
Brown rice. Oh, Rosizika. Zara Izra. صان تطعخو متصوصتي فريق أكتر زخاء رايس
You can leave those there.
أوكي
Yeah. Okay, so I learned something today. Is that you make some? Is it patois? How do you say it? What you make with the barley?
تطعخ برلي
Tutois, right? With the barley. And you
like
make
soup
like you make a soup out of it. Okay. Anybody else make any soups or breads or anything out of any of the?
So we use the brown rice.
Okay.
Yeah, for the fried
I
rice.
don't know, I can take it
We
in.
make the fried rice with brown rice.
Oh, really? Okay, nice.
But you need to make sure that you cook them like softly. So it's not regular cook. It would be hard when you do fried rice. So make sure that you go another level for the soft.
Oh, nice. You learn something new every day.
Grind it and then make like bread.
Yeah. And then I sometimes make the pancake with the oatmeal and banana, and then I mix it out with the egg. So when I start my diet, so that helped me a lot.
Okay, nice. Okay, would you like to share what you?
We have in our culture same thing called biryani, rice with variety of vegetables and beans, and with meat or
I
chicken.
love that biryani.
It's the same like fried rice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, same.
okay.
Yeah.
And you would use brown rice or white rice?
White.
Okay, because she was saying they used the brown rice. Yeah, for the fried rice.
We'll try.
We're trying. Okay. Nice. All right. So, can everybody see this here? Okay, so we have grain foods are made from seeds, such as what you've seen passed around here, and of cereal plants including wheat, oats, corn, barley, and rye. Okay, and foods made from grains would be bread, tortillas, cereal, and rice. I'll stop there and let you go ahead. Bread, tortillas, cereal, and rice. Foods made from grains. And noodles or pasta, muffins, crackers, and bagels. And also popcorn.
There is a kind of tortilla from corn.
Tortilla?
Bread from corn.
Yeah, yes. That is correct. So it is important to note that some people confuse foods containing carbohydrates with grain foods. So carbohydrates are a nutrient in food that gives us energy. Okay, so carbohydrates can be found in fruits, vegetables, grains, and dairy products. So while grains, they do contain carbohydrates, but not all foods that contain carbohydrates are grain foods, okay? So for example, beans and potatoes. Beans is a protein, but it contains carbohydrates, but it's not a grain. And a potato is a, good job, but it's not a grain, okay? But it also has a carbohydrate in it. So any questions about that at all? That all makes sense to everybody?
This makes sense.
So we're gonna talk about what makes up a grain here. The difference between a whole
I
grain.
thought that was avocado.
Like avocado. Okay. So what you have here is the germ. So you have a seed. This here is a whole seed, right? That's the germ on the inside of this seed.
Oh, that germ.
It's another.
That's germs. The inside the.
No. That's just what it's called
Oh.
inside the seed. This is a healthy germ. Okay?
It's not the one.
It's not the one that she think. Okay? So it's the
She have the point.
yeah. So it's the smallest part of a grain. It's the smallest part of the grain, and it's high in vitamins and minerals. Okay, so that's a healthy germ. So then, on the outside of the seed, you have the bran. That's the protective outside layer, which contains your fiber. Remember we talked about fiber last week? And the inside layer here, the white part, is the endosperm. That's the largest part of the grain. That contains most of the carbohydrates. Any questions about that? Is this all making sense to you? So, all that makes up a whole grain, okay? So when a whole grain is refined meaning something has been taken away, right? So what you lose is the germ. Sister, you lose the germ. And then you lose the bran. And all you have here is the endosperm, the carbohydrates, right? Okay, so with that, so this is the difference. So the top, if you have the whole seed with everything in it, that's a whole grain. So like whole wheat bread versus white bread. So when you're trying to determine which one would be healthier for you, which one would you want, the whole wheat bread or the white bread?
The whole.
Yes, right? So just like when you're choosing your rice, would you want the brown rice or the white rice? Yep, it's healthier, yeah, because you have all your vitamins and your minerals, right, and fiber. Okay, any questions about that at all? Question? Oh,
We just
okay.
talking about the organic store.
They explaining to each other like, oh, which one?
Yeah, whole food. We're
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about
yes.
the store. They sell this stuff, the
Oh,
whole
okay.
food and the organic store.
All right, so choosing whole grains is important because whole grains contain fiber, and vitamins and minerals, which the refined grains don't. And it also helps reduce the risk of heart disease and some cancers.
But you know that I get whole grain
You need me to repeat that again?
Yes, can you repeat again?
Okay. So, it's good to have whole grains because they contain the vitamins, fiber, and minerals that you need to prevent and reduce the risk of heart disease and some cancers. All right. So choosing, so fiber helps keep your digestive system healthy and functioning well. Did you get that move? All right, so there are a couple of ways to help identify whether or not a food is considered a whole grain. Okay, so remember last week we looked at the nutrition facts label. Remember that?
Yeah, the juice one. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the same thing when you're looking for whole grains. You're gonna look at the description, and it may be whole grain, the first ingredient, or 100% whole can be the first ingredient as well. Okay, so always check the ingredient list to be sure. So on the ingredient list, look for the word whole or 100% whole in front of a grain like wheat. All right, and in order for a food to be considered a whole grain, it has to have whole grain in front of at the first ingredient when you read it. So remember when we were looking at the juice labels, yeah, and if you seen water first, it was that 100% or no? No, it was not. Because why wasn't it 100%?
Yeah, they mix it with water.
Yeah, but if it had apple juice first, then it made it what?
It's 100%.
Yeah, because apple juice was first. Good job. So this is the same thing with the whole grains. So it has to have whole grain. And the first ingredient has to say whole grain in order for it to be a whole grain or 100%. Okay. So some grains do not include the word whole in the product name or description. And these include brown rice, wild rice, oatmeal, and popcorn. You know why?
It is good for the...
Repeat again.
Oh, some whole grains would not have in the description when you're looking at the label. It won't say whole grain or 100% whole grain there. In the description, like popcorn, wild rice, oatmeal, and brown. Did I say brown rice? Do you know why it wouldn't?
It is not 100%.
I mean no.
Why they
Yeah,
mix it like?
Aroma.
So when you have it on the label and you look on the label here, you won't find whole grain in front of that. Do you know why?
No.
Good job. Yes. Good
It's
job.
already
Because it's already a whole grain. No description needed because it is what it is.
Okay. So
Yeah.
just, okay, the real thing in there.
Yep. So like with the juicy juice label last week what we had, it didn't need a description because it is 100% juice. It is what it. They didn't add anything to it. Good job.
Yeah.
Okay. So because just remember if you see enriched. So if you see something that has enriched in front of the grain, that indicates that it's refined, meaning that some things were taken out and then you just have the endosperm, remember?
Yeah.
If you see enriched, so enriched flour, okay? You'll see that. That's
I
probably.
see that, but I don't know now. I get it.
Now you know what it is, right? Yeah.
Okay, we're joking about what we mean. I do that. What he can community
Yep. So enriched is gonna indicate that it's gonna have less vitamins, fiber, and minerals in it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is pass around a couple of labels here, and I'm going to have you look at some of the labels and see if you have whole grains or not.
Pass. Sugar, calcium, carbonate, whole grains, brown rice.
Okay, so who would like to share their labels and was it a whole grain or not? We'll start here with Moo and then we'll work around, okay? Okay, Moo, you want to hold up your label and explain to everybody if it's a whole grain or not?
So we thought that was 100% whole grain.
Okay.
Because we read the ingredient and it said whole grain wheat at the first word. So it is.
Good job. So hers was a whole grain. Did everybody get that? Okay, hold on. We're going around.
Simon, can you hold it up so everyone can see it? The other. Yeah.
Okay, so is it a whole grain, Simon?
Whole grain biscuit. Whole grain biscuit.
Yeah, brown. Brown cereal.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Brown. Yeah.
Okay. So then what we're looking at here, it says corn. So no, that wouldn't be.
Oh, I look at this one.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. Excuse me. All right. So next.
Brown rice already is whole grain.
Okay, good job. Yeah.
It's already whole grain.
This one is mixed. Is it rich?
So
Enriched flour
so is that a whole grain?
and whole flour. Wheat
No.
flour.
It-
No.
So no, it's not a whole grain because it said enriched first. So good job.
This no.
Okay, so they both enriched. Okay. What you have? You turn it around the other way? Okay, whole wheat flour.
Flour.
Okay. Is it a whole grain?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, sister, what you have here?
This is I think whole green.
Okay, you turn it
Flour,
around.
This is
And what's the first ingredient?
The first ingredient is whole grain.
Yep, so it's whole grain. Good job. Good job. Any questions about how to identify these whole grains? So this is something to think about when you're trying to decide like what snacks and stuff that you want to serve for daycare when you planning your meals for childcare. So these are some things to kind of use when you're deciding what foods and snacks to give your daycare kids, right? All right, so next what we're going to do, just hold on to those labels, you'll need them again. So what we're going to do now is I'm gonna let you work in partners.
Give me one. Oh, okay. That's a partner, right? I'm gonna take one.
Take one, pass it down. Simon don't need one.
Okay, ¿cuál es?
All right, so what I want you to do with your partner based off of what you just learned here, let's write down what makes a food a whole grain. I'll give you a couple of minutes to work together with that. I think you got it. So let's talk about brown. Brown doesn't mean whole, okay? So you have many breads that are brown in color, but that doesn't make it a whole grain, okay? So these breads are mostly refined and with wheat flour and coloring to make it look healthy, right? So, oh, sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot. So the only way that we can determine if it is a whole grain or not is what?
Refined. Refined grain.
How are we gonna huh?
Say again.
Yeah, cause y'all just sitting back there just smiling at me.
No, they have music.
Oh, you know,
Oh.
okay, I have to
It's okay.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
Oh,
It's okay.
okay. So how can you determine if your bread, your brown bread, is a whole grain or not?
See the label?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look at the label. What should be on the label so you'll know that it's a whole grain? What should it say?
The whole grain.
Yeah.
Great.
It's the first ingredient should say whole grain or 100% whole. Good job. Good job. All right. So look at the front of your worksheet at the bottom that I just gave you. So here's a list here of whole grains and refined grains. So whole grains would be whole grain bread and buns, whole wheat pasta or noodles. Did you go through the whole list with her?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I told her like what is the difference between those two.
Okay. All right, and then we have refined grains, foods that include white bread and buns, most pasta and noodles, white flour tortillas, most corn tortillas, white rice, and pearl barley.
rice. What is wild rice?
Wild rice?
Yeah, wild rice. Rice is like wild. What is the wild?
It's wild. No, it's like a mixture of like different little grains inside the rice. Yeah. I'll have to find you a photo so you can see it. Okay. So next what I want you to do is discuss with your partner about some grain foods that you and your family enjoy, and then talk about ways that you can substitute refined grains with whole grains. And I'll give you a couple of minutes to discuss it, and then if you want to share, I'll ask if anybody want to share what they learned about their partner, okay? Who would like to share what they learned about their partner, like some foods that your families eat and some substitutes you may make at home?
They eat cereal.
Cereal? Okay, so you say it's,
Cereal and popcorn.
okay, those are some whole grains that you eat at home? So are there any enriched whole grains that you can substitute to make it a whole grain that you eat at home?
The bread.
Bread? Okay. All right.
Oatmeal with milk.
Oatmeal with milk, okay. Anybody else want to share? All right.
Brown rice.
You eat that at home already?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
And the whole grain too, we make it like dessert.
What's that?
The whole grain,
Rice?
no, the whole
Barley?
The whole wheat.
Whole wheat.
Oh,
Make it like dessert, yeah.
what kind of dessert?
We boil it until it cooked, and then we add milk and sugar,
A little bit of sugar.
and
Like a-
custard. You know custard?
Yeah. Okay, nice.
And it turn like that. And you put it in the fridge and you add like
Some fruit.
raisins and so
Nice. You learn something new every day. Okay.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for sharing. That's all good information.
Back home we have, you know millet, right?
Millet.
Millet, okay.
Back home we consider millet, flour.
Okay, hold on so I can hear Simon real quick, okay?
Okay.
Back home we consider there are different grains, but millet is a good one. We consider it a good one. We grind it and make injera and it is
So you make injera out of the millet?
yeah,
Okay.
porridge.
Forage? See,
Yeah.
Pork, okay?
okay.
Porridge, the gaat.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Wow, okay. You
Like
learn-
by Liberia, they eat fufu.
Even us,
Fufu.
yeah, we do it like
Yeah,
fufu too. The
With the millet?
the millet, yeah.
Learning some stuff today.
I want to try that.
Okay.
I have a friend. He is thin person,
Uh-huh.
but he had a girlfriend, and that girlfriend she fed him fufu. He became very fast. Everybody wondered about that. What is everything fufu?
Do you eat too
So
much
I'm not gonna
fufu?
try fufu anymore.
So fufu's not healthy for you?
No, it's
Not for I don't know. The other thing, yeah. Here.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's joking.
He say he just like this This all food, like fufu. I eat food. I mean, I think so. He talk like that, but it's healthy.
Fufu is
Yeah, it
healthy.
is with they make it with corn.
It's different flour.
Different
Cassava leaf.
flour.
Yes,
Yeah, I think I knew that.
It's
Huh?
corn flour.
Seven kind of
Different flour.
I know a little something about the cassava leaf, how you put the fufu and stuff together. Okay. Well, thanks. Did you guys want to share?
No, she just asking me what is fufu, so I just explained.
Oh, okay.
She don't. She heard that, but she said I have never tried that before.
Okay. All right. So next, what we're going to do is your favorite part of the class.
Oh.
All right, so everybody, we're gonna get up and do the cardio pyramid. You guys been sitting down, so everybody, we're gonna stretch a little bit, move around. All righty, so let's take a deep breath in and out. One more time, in and out. Last time, in and out. All right. You got march in place. Oh, you didn't have to do that. I would just do it. Okay. All right. So 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 2, 4, 5, 6, step, touch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. March with arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Simon have a heavy breathing now.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Step with arms.
No, I have
2,
a surgery, so
4,
the last time I
5,
did and I
6,
hear
7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. March with arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. That's your warm up.
warm up the Lana.
So we're gonna walk up the pyramid and back. So this time we're gonna add boxing this week. So you can rock or go this way, however you want to do it. Okay. Okay. You guys ready? So 5, 6, march in place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Step touch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ham curl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. V step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Box in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and out. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. High knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. March in place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. High knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hamburger. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, step, touch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, march in place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, good job. Give yourselves a hand clap. All right, wait, don't sit down right away. So stand behind your chair. And we're gonna do calf. We're gonna do calf rises. So what you're gonna do is 1, 2, 3,
Come do it.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, one more time, okay?
What?
1,
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Okay, good job. So let's get your heart rate down, and then you can sit down, okay? Because you work so hard on the pyramid. So take a deep breath in and out. One more time, in and out. Last time, in and out. Good job. Now you can sit down.
Good job, Simon.
Simon, why they giving you a hard time today?
No, la Daniel today.
Good job. Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
Simon,
As always.
What?
who's talking to you?
Oh. Shit. Huh? Is that okay?
كنمهار سي قدم صبوق كوينا محلنا لك تمهرتي زي مهرنا ولدنا بجاكا صحيحي وفار برخة عقلي.
She said we don't have back home, we don't have that kind of exercise, but at field we weed and we work on field. And
Okay.
that makes us, yeah.
Oh, because when you're working, okay.
We don't learn this
سكول هاي
way.
تمهر سكول.
Oh, and that's your exercise, the work.
صحيحي.
Yeah.
صحيحي برخة نخيي.
Yeah.
تعصب نخلي.
Yeah, because that's a lot of work. That's a lot of hard work, though. Yeah, I get it. That's hard
And
work.
grain like this.
Yeah.
Mura
Okay.
and millet.
في إننا عذرنا.
Yeah.
عدنا بينا عذرنا.
And they
ما
are.
عتيد كرنا بينا.
Okay. So, what we're going to do now is talk about ounce equivalents, okay? And the recommended amount of grain foods to eat each day is measured in ounce equivalents.
Calling sounding ng tanana. Ito mungkin tak tahu nak calling
And basically what ounce equivalents are is two different measures that are equal.
Aborta hawat kin hawat mitwe noma bari kolle shanda telum zate la na
So like prime example would be like 12 inches equals 1 foot.
Tama inti senas bare putelas injela ninjela de nankate injela de innabre senas bare putel mindel pala de.
And then another example would be 1 cup equals 8 ounces. So if you hear like 8 ounces of water, is basically 1 cup of water.
Dia paella bu hawa aikan kukali na istokono misha koina yenda biar teksawa biar kawana na fete teksana ang saya ijadanga mi koina bari
Okay, so that's what ounce equivalents are, okay? That's what we're talking about now. So basically, an ounce equivalent is the same amount of grain food, carbohydrate as 1 slice of bread, okay? All right. So if you turn to page 2 of your worksheet, okay, so my plate, remember the plate that I showed you last week and it told you half of your plate should be fruits and vegetables?
Yeah.
Okay, so it tells us that roughly 1/4 of our plate at meals and snacks should be grains. So we need grains as well. That was on there too. So if you make 1/4 of your plate grains at most of your meals and snacks, you should get the recommended amount of grains each day. So at least half of your grains that you eat each day should be whole grains, okay? So at the bottom here are examples of each age group as to how much grains they should have each day, okay? Did you go through the whole list? Did you guys just read the whole list off?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you read the list to your mom?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, on this list here, you say the total grains of each group, how much they should have, and then how much whole grains we should have as well, okay? So basically, adults 19 and up should have at least 5 to 10 ounce equivalents of total grains and at least 2.5 to 5 ounce equivalents of whole grains, okay? And then so I don't know what ages you have in your child care, but I'm not gonna read them all because you already read the ones, but any questions? So the following amounts of these foods are considered 1 ounce equivalents. So you have 1 slice of bread and 1 6-inch tortilla. That's considered 1 ounce equivalent, okay, of a whole grain. So then, what are these?
That's for major cup.
What kind? For what?
Maybe
for
for the
sugar.
drying, like flour and
Yes, good job. Yep. So what we're gonna use with this is 1 cup of ready to eat cereal. That's considered an ounce equivalent of a whole grain, okay? And then if you have a 1/2 cup of cooked rice, pasta, or noodles, okay? Then you have a 1/2 cup of cooked cereal. And then 1 small biscuit or muffin. 5 to 7 crackers.
Okay, cricket is this one like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then a small piece of cornbread.
A small piece of cornbread.
And then a 1/2 an English muffin.
English muffin and
Okay, and then a 1/2 a small bagel. And then 3 of these of popcorn.
how many is it?
3 cups. 3 cups of popcorn.
Okay.
So those are all equal to 1 ounce equivalents, okay? So thinking about what we just learned and talked about, let's use the foods that you ate yesterday as an example on this page. Fill this in, or you can discuss it with your partner. What are some whole grains or some grains that you had to eat yesterday? Share. Who would like to share some grains that they ate with their morning meal yesterday. Okay, Mo.
So she have some like a cup of rice yesterday, and then she add the veggie and meat and fruit. So she make sure that it was in. Nah, awat ko snack.
Ini kena masan no. Mola. Oh, satu bandet.
So for the snack, she have a cracker.
Okay.
And so she said she only ate morning like maybe like around 9 or 10.
So like a cup of rice.
A cup of
Hold
rice.
on, pay attention. So when I ask you, you'll know where we going with this, okay? All right. So breakfast, she had one cup of rice. So that's how many ounces?
It was 2.
And
Because
three.
the
Five.
it's like
5.
8, 16 ounce. It's like that, right?
No. She had one cup of rice, so that's 1 ounce equivalent. So that's
okay.
yeah. Remember,
Okay, 1 ounce.
that's
yeah.
1 ounce equivalent. Okay. And what else did you have?
That is not them.
They,
Cracker.
she had crackers. How many crackers did you have?
No, what bila?
No,
4, 5.
Okay. So that's another 2 ounces. Okay. And that's all she had, right? All right. So with her crackers and her rice, we'll put her around 2 ounce equivalents with that, okay? You see how that works? What we just learned with the ounce equivalent? All right, thank you for sharing, Lou. Okay, next, anybody else want to share what they had? Okay, Simon.
She said
For the morning.
morning, one bread with milk.
One bread, a piece of bread, okay?
Milk.
So that's 1 slice.
Then snack is popcorn with tea.
I seen you do this with the popcorn. You had this much popcorn before? Okay, how many cups of popcorn? How many? About how many of these?
That is big, she says.
This is big?
Maybe half.
Oh, so you had about half? Okay. Alright. Okay. Anything else as far as grains that she had? So then Jera bread.
Yeah, it was probably
Okay.
flour and bread. Yeah.
So you probably had about, we'll just guesstimate like
Yeah.
3 ounces.
Mhm.
3 ounce equivalents of grains yesterday with that. Okay, thank you for sharing. Anybody else want to share?
Yeah, me in the morning I eat whole cereal with milk.
Okay. You said cereal?
Yeah.
Okay, was it this much? About 1 cup? 2 cups? Okay, so that's 2 ounces. Okay, hold on, Boo. So we can hear everybody, okay? And then everybody else will have a chance to speak. Okay. So you had 2 cups of cereal.
Yeah.
So we'll have 2 ounces here next. What else did you have?
Okay.
Okay. Cookies.
Cookies, okay. Anything else that you can?
And rice with meat.
How much rice would you say you had?
1.
1 cup, so you're at 3 ounce equivalents now, okay?
Yep.
And is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You-
Popcorn.
How many cups?
2.
2 cups?
Too much.
Okay.
Finish all.
Well, actually, no, on the list, you can have 3 cups of 3 of these cups. So she's under,
I eat
she's
2.
under. So she only had 2.
2 on evening.
Okay,
That's good.
that's it?
Mm,
Any other grain foods you had yesterday?
no.
Okay.
You know?
Did you guys eat together?
Yeah.
You don't believe me?
No. Next.
But I eat like the whole grain with egg in the morning.
What was your whole
But the
grain?
evening we was together, but the morning I eat the whole grain bread.
Okay.
With egg, with fried egg.
They don't agree. Yeah.
Okay, so you had whole grain bread, one slice,
Like
2 slices.
Okay.
Okay, so with your 2 slices of bread, that'll be 2-ounce equivalents, and then you had your popcorn.
Uh-huh.
So I'm about a 2.5. How much popcorn did you eat?
Not a lot.
Okay,
Maybe the half. She
Okay.
ate more.
okay,
Tell how you lie. She didn't ask.
okay. Thank you for sharing. Okay, next.
Me, I ate
Hold on, so we can hear. Hold on, come on.
2 cups cereal, and I make
You had cereal.
cereal 2 cups.
Okay, 2 cups of
With
cereal.
with the milk.
Okay,
And I make popcorn yesterday with
popcorn.
with the coffee. Yeah,
How much popcorn?
2 cups.
2 cups. Okay.
2 cups. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, nice. And
My
how-
mom,
so
my
you-
mom, she don't like that cereal, something, but just eat. She ate our food, but me, I ate cereal.
So did your mom? Okay, so what grain did your mom have with your food that she ate?
She ate the popcorn
Okay,
and bread, sliced bread sometimes.
okay.
Yeah.
So that's all grain. So that counts towards her total.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for sharing. That's pretty cool there. So if you're not used to eating whole grains, or just try to remember to make sure half of your grains are whole grains. And if you're not used to eating whole grains, don't rush into it and eat it all at once. You got to let your body get used to the added amount of fiber. So just kind of gradually add it to your diet, okay? So any questions at all? And also to have your children involved with your whole grains, you can have them choose different whole grain products because they're more likely to try foods that they kind of engage and help pick out versus you just serving it to them and they're like, what's this, you know? Just give them an option to choose, okay? And we are our children's role models, so serve and eat whole grain foods every day. They see you eating them, then they'll want to eat what you're serving, okay? Or what you're eating. And another indication to know if your whole grains are whole is you look at the fiber intake. Remember we talked about the percent daily value. Anything that's 20% or more is considered what? Is that high or low?
Consider for cholesterol.
Remember the percent daily value here? If the nutrient is, if it's 20% or more, is that considered high or low?
High.
High.
Yes.
High the cholesterol.
And then if it's 5% or less, it's considered
Low.
okay. Good. So if the fiber is 20% or more, then basically that's high and it's a whole grain. But not in all cases. You still have to look at the first ingredient, okay? So this next activity, what I want you to do real quick with the labels that are in front of you, look at your labels and see if your fiber intake is high or low. Okay, good. Okay, anybody else want to share their fiber? What did you find for fiber?
This is 25.
For fiber,
Mm-hmm.
it's 25%?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is that high or low?
25.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Okay.
25%.
That's what it is.
How much fiber is in yours?
Mm-hmm.
20%.
15%. So yours is 15%.
So you're gonna look here. Dietary fiber.
Fiber or 8%.
Yep.
Excuse me? And the other one is 4. I have to.
Okay. So is your fiber high or low?
Low.
Low.
This one is 4%.
Okay. All right. So also, even if the fiber is low, it's still a good source of that nutrient. So it's still good for you, okay? It's just not as high.
If 8% is low or high? 8% is low or high?
Remember that 15 and below, so it's it's a
yes,
little
it's low.
over. Yeah, it's still not high though, because it's not over 20%. But it's still a good source of fiber. Okay? So foods 10 to 19% of the daily value are good sources of the nutrient. So always just pay attention to your labels, okay? Any questions about that? All right, real quick, we're gonna talk about eating breakfast. Eating breakfast prevents you from getting too hungry in between meals. This can help keep you from making unhealthy food choices throughout the day. So breakfast can be a good time to eat whole grains. Okay, so when choosing your cereal, choose the ones with the least amount of sugar on them, okay? And just kind of pay attention to that when you're looking at the cereal, because a lot of your sugary cereals can be whole grain, but it's a lot of added amount of sugar to them as well. Okay, and breakfast is important. It gives children the energy and nutrients they need to be focused and energized throughout the day. So children who eat breakfast tend to do better in school. Okay? All right. Any questions about that at all? Anybody have any questions about anything? No? All right. Let's talk about bread, like the storage of your grain products. Always keep them in tightly sealed containers, your grain foods. And bread can be stored at room temperature until it grows mold on it.
Can you repeat again?
Bread can be stored at room temperature until it grows mold on it. In more humid climates, bread molds faster than in dry climates. So you want to throw out moldy bread, like muffins, bagels, cornbread. And bread can also be stored in a freezer for up to 3 months. In the freezer. Yep. And unopened packages of tortillas can be stored at room temperature, but once it's open, put it in the refrigerator.
እስከ ሳይሆን እስከ ኤክስፕሌኒንግ ወደ ላይ ተረዳት እስከ ተገመር ላይ ተረዳት
فريج زعتون عندك كده مكون يحتاج في اليخت من البشر اللي حتى بالعشي مقبي تحبري غيري السوق ولا كتكي ولا
Okay, understand.
Okay, and uncooked grains, both refined and whole, should be stored in tightly closed containers in cool, dry, dark places such as your pantry, refrigerator, and freezer. And cooked grains can be kept in the refrigerator for 3 to 4 days. Any questions about that at all? So today, what you're going to take home with you is a set of dry measuring cups, okay?
Star, we need one more.
One more? Okay. All right. So what we're going to do now is take out our gold sheets. Everybody have their gold sheet?
Yeah.
Remember, that's your attendance sheet. All right? So with your gold sheet,
I'm number 5.
yes. So today's date is 5/5.
I'm class of 25.
Plus number 5 and 5, 5, 5,
25.
Oh. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
5, 5, 2, 5.
5 to 5 here.
Yes. Okay, so what goal we have here today is you're gonna read the label of bread, cereal, to see if it's a whole grain or not. Or you can have oatmeal for breakfast. How many days out the week? Or you can choose a whole grain food this week to try. Or you can choose your own personal goal. So I'm gonna give you a few seconds to work on your goal or choose one. And then we're gonna share, if you want to, which one you're gonna work on between now and next week. Sit up. Okay, now what you say?
I read the label of the bread, cereal, or cheese.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna see how you did next week with that. Anybody else want to share? Okay, what you have?
Number 3, choose the whole grain.
Okay.
I don't like number 2 option because I don't like oatmeal.
No, that's fine. You
We
can
choose 3. So we were trying the whole grain for this week.
Okay, you guys are gonna choose a whole grain, so do you have one in mind that you wanna try?
Yes.
Okay, what is that?
Now, I'm not do the kind. I work whole grain. Cereal.
You gonna try some cereal? Okay, nice. And what whole grain you gonna try?
Brown rice.
Brown rice? Okay, good.
The same here too.
So you gonna try brown rice?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, what you have?
Bread brown?
Brown, okay, so whole wheat bread?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you gotta try?
Yeah.
Okay, so make sure she puts Yvonne whole wheat bread for me on there. All right, anyone else wanna share their goal? No?
Oatmeal. I want to try oatmeal.
You gonna try oatmeal? Okay.
Every morning.
Yvonne, you gotta let me know how does that go.
With the oatmeal?
Because I tried so many times and I failed. So I don't like the taste or maybe the texture they have. I don't know.
So are you gonna try, so do you do instant oatmeal or you try to make it
I just use the instant one.
the instant? Oh, okay.
So did you add honey or anything? I just only add milk and let it
Is
sit.
it plain?
Yeah, it's plain.
Oh, that's probably why you don't like it, cause a lot of people
There
add
is like a
like,
flavor one in there.
yeah, they have
I'm
different
gonna try
flavors.
that.
And you can also add fruit.
Fruit.
You can add fruit to it too for some
Yeah,
flavor.
a friend of mine, she shared like the overnight oatmeal, and it was so good. And I don't know how to make that.
Or you can do put bananas in it too. Yeah, cause if you do the instant, cause it's just a packet, and you put water in it, and then you put it in the microwave for like a minute, I think, if that.
I didn't put it in the microwave. I just put the milk and eat it like that.
No, that's why you don't like
That's
Yeah.
why you didn't like it.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's
I was like, how the taste?
Yeah, that's why you didn't like it.
I just eat them like a cereal, you know?
Yeah, no, you gotta cook it.
I gotta cook it.
Yes, that's why.
That's why you
Any volunteers to prepare the oatmeal? I mean, I said oatmeal.
I'm not good at that, so don't
Pink.
look at me.
Well, so here's the thing. Because you said that, I want everybody's gonna flip a pancake. Everybody's always nervous. You gotta just try it. So we're all gonna flip a pancake. So we're all gonna wash our hands and everybody's gonna participate this today. Okay? So I'm gonna clean our area and we can get to washing our hands because we only got a couple of minutes. So we can start the line to wash our hands and then I'm gonna set up here. But let me go wash my hands as well. Since we're all can't stand around at the same time, this is your recipe sheet here. You can pass them out.
Products that only require the addition of water or okay.
Okay. So for this recipe, it only requires pancake mix, and we're just gonna add water, and Moo can hold the oats up. All right. So we're gonna follow. It's a very simple recipe. We're just gonna follow the ingredients on the back of here, but we're gonna cut it in half because we're gonna add oatmeal to it. Okay. All right. So first off, what we're going to do is we are going to mix in the oatmeal and the half a cup of pancake mix, so half and half. So this is a cup here, the bigger one. This is a cup.
Yeah.
All right.
So we only
So you only need half of that. Yep. Oh, I didn't even know this was on.
Okay. Half.
Yep, and then half of your pancake mix. And then how much water? Can somebody tell her how much water she needs?
Half two, right? It's not half?
2.
What is a water? Water for 3-4 cup.
Yep.
3-4 cup of water.
Well, so here's what we did. So what you want to do is look at this here too. So you put it 1 cup, so mix here. So then we put half and half, and then you need 1/4 a cup of water because you're doing the one
like here.
Nope. So remember, this is dry. These are dry measuring cups. That should liquid. Yep. So we can put this down. Use one of those bottled waters there. And pour. You see where the lines are here?
Yeah. No, it's supposed to be here.
Okay, you can see it. 1/4 cup.
Is that more?
You're good. That's it. 1/4.
Yeah.
And then you mix it. And then we're gonna spray so the pan don't stick. You got the mix yet?
It's not like I need more water.
No?
It's not.
Well, let me see. Yeah,
Is it because
put
3-4,
yeah,
so-
yeah, put a little bit more.
It's a 3-4. It's not 1-4, so it's gonna go like up here.
No, that's gonna probably be too much water. We're still gonna follow this, but we're gonna put, don't put
Because
all
it's
that.
at like 3-4, so okay, I'm not gonna.
Okay, slow down. That's because it's gonna be too runny. You don't want it too runny.
It should be good, right?
Yep, just mix it all together.
That's mixed. Mix it good.
So we're gonna let our skillet get hot.
It is good.
Don't try to pat. Moo's gonna flip her first pancake.
Llega macho. Is that ready?
Yeah, that's good. So we're gonna let the skillet get a little hot. Yeah, just mix it all in. Make sure everything is mixed together.
Half cup oatmeal and half cup from the mix
I got you.
ready. And
Yeah.
3
And just let this.
Okay, I got you.
So how many pancakes should I make? Like it's gonna be 2 or 3?
Yeah, it should.
It was a lot. You want me to do just 1 pancake?
No, we're gonna put as many as we can in here, so you're fine.
Not yet. It was high?
No, you don't want it too high because it'll burn them.
So
All right, so what you can do is take the spoon. So that's what I like to do here with it. Just take a little bit here and then just add it to it.
Okay. So it's trying to make a.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna try.
there you go. And then you can make your. And make sure you have space in between though, so when you're ready to flip it, so put another one here. Yep. And you don't want them too close together. Yep, that's good. You can probably put one more here. Yep, you're good to go. So then we'll just wait.
Oh, I see the hole like.
Yeah, when they bubble up, it don't take long to cook. So who's all going to eat a pancake? Who's gonna try one? 1, 2, 3. Are you gonna try one? No? Okay.
Give it to the kids.
Yeah, they got it. If we have time, you guys can share them. Hold on, Moo. We'll wait a little bit. Yeah, let
Someone will try everything.
Okay, yep. So then it's,
You just flip them.
Time if you're doing something like
Yep, so then you
Just
take
flip
it,
it.
yeah. And I'll let you flip. Do this, yep. There you go, you flipped it. Then this one's ready to flip. Yeah,
someone try it.
there you go. Oh, that's okay, that's okay. Let it sit there.
And you make a
We'll fix it. Okay.
I don't do it, but I know.
Oh, that's beautiful.
We'll fix it, it's okay.